Hey guys, here today showing you how to replace a headlight bulb on a 2006 Cadillac SRX. I believe this is the same for 2004 or whenever this body style started. I think 2004 through 2010, I believe. Unfortunately, the Cadillacs, as is with most German cars, you have to actually take the bumper off in order to remove the headlight so that you can replace the headlight bulb. I know it sounds really ridiculous. Before you used to be able to just reach your hand in here and take the bulbs out, but as you can see, my hand is not going to fit in there, and that's not the way it's supposed to be done. There are people on YouTube that show you ways to take this light out without removing the bumper, but you risk damaging things. So it's the proper way is to take off the bumper, and taking off the bumper really isn't all that difficult. There are just multiple little plastic rivets like these, as you can see here. This one, there's just many of these along the top here. There's a lot of these that are all, you'll see all the ones that are attached to the grill and the bumper area. These simply come up by sticking, you see there's two edges here. You stick a flathead screwdriver into either side and just pry them up, and then you can use a pair of pliers or just continue to pry up with the flathead, and then you'll just pull these straight out. So there are, I don't know how many there are, you know, there's one here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at least up here that you need to take out. And after you've gotten all these done on the top, you'll need to move into the wheel wells, as you will see here. In the wheel wells, there are also more of the plastic rivets. One down there on the bottom, one here, and then there are also a lot that run along the bottom of the bumper. Let me see if I can get you a good view at that. You see all these ones that are here along the bottom of the bumper as well. They run all along the bottom. There's also other rivets here. They're pretty much the same type of rivets. They look different than these, but they come out the same way. You just pry them out with the flathead screwdriver and they will come out. Just go on ahead and remove all of these on the bottom and all the ones on the top. And then once you get all of them loose, after you get this inner fender well here loose, this will actually pull away from the bumper. You know, you can take this whole plastic fender and just push it this way, and you'll notice there will be screws that are located about here and here. There's a 10mm bolt that's here, and also a nut that's around here. You can loosen the nut, but don't take it all the way off. It's not necessary. The bolt you need to pull out all the way. Same on the other side. You'll need to do the same thing. I know I'm not really showing you how to do this. I will show, you know, you'll see me working on the top. I'm not really going to go over the bottom because it's the same as the top. It's just more time consuming than anything. It's not very difficult at all. So bear with me. Don't hate me because I didn't show you everything how to do it. I usually do on my other videos. But these are pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to go ahead and work on pulling all these off now, and I will get back to you in a minute. Okay, the little 7mm screws that are holding, they're actually holding on the headlight washers. You don't need to disconnect them. They'll just hang here. We're actually going to probably just disconnect the water line when we get to that point. So you can just leave those two 7mm in for now. And as you can see, I got all of the plastic clips up here on the top taken out. So I'm going to go ahead and move into both the wheel wells and underneath the car to remove the rest of them. Okay, now you got this loosened here. You can push it back, like I said, and there'll be a 10 millimeter right here. And there'll also be, if you're reaching a little bit farther, there'll be another 10 millimeter nut. This one on the inside is a little bit harder to get to. You'll probably have to use, you can either stick a ratchet right in here with a 10 and just ratchet like this, or you might be able to use an extension and get the other one. But they are both 10 millimeter, and you'll probably have to hold this to the side so you can loosen it up. But you do need to take out this bolt. The bolt that's here you need to take out, and the nut needs to just get loosened. It does not have to come all the way out. Okay, so you see how this is now loose. The other side should be loose as well when you get it done. And then we'll go on ahead and just pretty much start at the top of the bumper and pull it back to remove it off of the front of the car so that we can get to the headlights. Okay, now that you've got both all the clips off, top, bottom, and the fender wells, you'll probably notice that it was easier to turn the wheels one way or another to give you more space. I'm sorry I didn't mention that in the beginning. But all of this should be loose now to where we can just pull the bumper off of the front of the car. Be careful and do it slowly because there will be some connectors for the windshield washer, or for the headlamp sprayers and the fog lights. So you can just hold here and maneuver it off slowly. Just enough to let it sit down on the ground like so. At this point you can just let it sit right here on the ground, and that's all you'll need to do. You will need to maneuver it a little bit so that you can get the headlights off, but pretty much that's how you will take the bumper off. Now we can focus on taking the headlamp off so you can get the bulb changed out. Okay, now that you've got the bumper off and setting down on the ground, you don't need to remove the bumper entirely. You can go on ahead and focus on taking the light out. You'll need to remove this little insulation here so you can see the mounting bolts here. You can remove these two 10s, or you can remove this 110 that's right here, whichever one you want to do, it doesn't really matter. Then there's also the 10 millimeter that was up on top that you should have taken out. And I believe that is all that's holding it in as far as I can see. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and I will update you in a minute. There's also one more 10 millimeter that's hiding back here in the back on the top. Now you should be able to pull the headlight out just like so. Be careful because it will have a connector on it. The connector, you can just pinch this here and pull it off like so. And then you'll go on ahead, and now you can set the headlight down on the ground and replace the bulb on the side. Okay, now that you have the bulb here, the headlight sitting on the ground, make sure you put it on something soft so you don't scratch the lens on the front. Right here we have the connector. I will be wanting to remove this entire cover that's here. It's held on by 3 Torx screws that are T15 Torx size. The bulb you should have bought to replace this is a D1S bulb, like so. This one is made by Philips, which is most of the original bulbs that come in these cars. But yeah, you'll pretty much want to remove the 3 screws. There's one here, one right here, and then there's one right here. So you're going to remove those 3. carefully remove this cover like so. There will be a gasket, and there will also be wires here that are connected. You can just let this hang to the side, that's fine. There's a ballast right here. You'll need to remove this ballast, and then underneath that will be the actual light bulb. So there is a retaining clip that holds that light in. So you'll need to go on ahead and remove that ballast, because the new bulb will come with the ballast like this one. You see it'll come with the new one. When you do pull the new one out, or even the old one, don't touch the headlight glass at all, because the oil from your finger will cause it to wear out prematurely or even explode in there. Don't touch it. And same with the old one. So pretty much we're gonna go ahead and remove this old one by, there's a little retaining clip, you just push it down and move it to the side. It'll lift up like this. The connector that's on the side, I believe it just, see, you just pull this straight out like so. Then you'll have the bulb here, and then the connector on the side, it should just pop straight, yeah, it'll just pop straight off like so. You just pull it off of it, and this is the old bulb here. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the new bulb. Make sure you plug it in the same way. It will go in, the little metal rod that's on the side of the bulb will be faced towards the high beam bulb over here. So that's the way you want to stick it back in. Be careful and take your time so that you do not hit it on anything on the way in. Just take your time with these bulbs because they're very expensive. And then you can press it back into place and put the retaining the little retaining clip right there, and that's pretty much how you install it. And then you go on ahead and put the cover back on. Keep in mind that the gasket is in place where it should be at. I did not touch mine, so now you can just go on ahead and put the headlight back onto the car the same way you took it off. Okay, now that you've got the new headlight bulbs installed, you got your headlights back on. I actually replaced both headlight bulbs on this car because if one was going out, chances are the other one was probably going out soon. So I just went ahead and replaced both of them. Now pretty much you just need to lift the bumper back up and slide it into place, and it's just pretty much the reverse of removal. I'm not going to show you how to do that because it's pretty self-explanatory, as I said. Forgive me if I was being pretty lazy today, but I'm just trying to knock this out real quick because I got a few other things to do. But yeah, just slide it back on, put all the plastic rivets back in, tighten the nut back up, and put the bolt back in. This here nut that's on the side of the bumper, if you look up underneath the car here, there's a big hole where you need to slide it into and then slide it backwards towards the back of the car. Then you can tighten up the nut. That one will probably give you the most difficulty trying to line it up. I'm making it sound harder than it is, but just so you know, so you're not losing your mind as to why the bumper's not sitting flush anymore, that is why. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll talk to you again. So pretty much it should look like this again once it's back on. You can go, like I said, go on ahead and line up the bolts, put all the plastic rivets in, and you should be good. I'm gonna leave the video off there with this. If you have any comments or questions, please ask them in the comment section below. If this is your first time to the channel, thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Feel free to check out any other videos I have, and definitely hit the subscribe button on your way out. Again, I apologize, this was a quick, fast video. It wasn't very detailed, but by all means ask me any questions you have. I can answer them for you, no problem. All right guys, I'll talk to you later.